I stood in my parents' backyard, champagne glass in hand, watching my twin sister Victoria work the crowd at our family reunion. She was all smiles, her voice dripping with fake sympathy as she introduced me to her colleagues. "This is Sarah, my unemployed twin," she said, pulling me close like she cared. "She tried some tech thing, but you know how startups go." Her laugh was sharp, cutting. "Don't worry, I'll always take care of my pathetic sister." I'm Sarah Micho, 29, and right then, I was her cautionary tale, paraded around like a trophy of her superiority. Victoria had just been named the youngest VP at Anderson and Shaw Investments, while I was supposedly mooching off her charity. If only they knew. "Sarah's going through a rough patch," she told her boss, James Anderson, who gave me that pitying look I'd seen a million times. "But that's what family's for, right?" I sipped the champagne, expensive stuff she'd insisted I bring to flaunt her promotion, and smiled. Not the bitter smile she expected, but a real one. She had no clue what was brewing under her perfect little world. "You're so good to her," Mom said, patting Victoria's arm. Dad beamed at her, the golden child who'd followed his finance footsteps, while I'd wasted my life on computer games, or so he thought. 3 years ago, I'd started a cybersecurity company he mocked as a hobby. Last month, I sold it for $47 million. Nobody knew yet, except my lawyers and the tech giant buying it. The deal was hush-hush, part of a bigger rollout next quarter. Victoria thought she had me pegged, the failure she could lord over forever. She'd even helped me once, sliding a $10,000 check across the table at our old diner. "Maybe it'll keep you from complete failure," she'd said, all smug. I tore it up. She'd raged, "You'll regret this when you're broke and desperate. Remember who tried to help." Now, watching her charm the reunion crowd, I thought about the email I'd gotten that morning. Her firm's tech department was rolling out my security software next month, a move she'd pushed for, clueless it was mine. "Sarah, honey, Mom broken. Victoria might have an entry-level spot for you at her department. Wouldn't that be wonderful?" Victoria grinned, all fake kindness. "Everyone starts somewhere, sis. I'd be happy to mentor you." Actually, I started, but she cut me off, steering James away with, "Oh, James, about the Morrison account." Classic Victoria. She'd been drowning out my wins since we were kids, my honor roll moment buried by her class president gig, my science fair trophy overshadowed by her elite summer program. I slipped away to the old oak tree, needing a breather from her game. "Hiding from your sister's success?" Aunt Margaret appeared, 2 wine glasses in hand. She handed me one, smirking. "Not hiding," I said. "Just escaping the family disappointment role." She snorted. "I saw your tech conference talk last month. Brilliant. Victoria doesn't know, does she?" I nearly choked. "You were there?" "I read tech journals," she said. "Your encryption's revolutionary. Family doesn't know about the acquisition." I shook my head. "How'd you, industry friends?" "Don't worry, it's still under wraps." "Does Victoria know her firm bought your software?" "Not yet," I grinned. "She's calling it her big VP win, modernizing their cybersecurity." Aunt Margaret laughed, wicked and low. "Oh, this is perfect. When's the announcement?" "Next quarter, after implementation. She'll take all the credit first." "Your grandmother would have loved this," she said. "She always said Victoria was like your dad, all flash, no substance." I blinked. "Dad has substance." "Used to," she shrugged. "Before appearances took over." She left me her tech patents, not him. Half his firm's early wins were from my licensing fees I never collected. She handed me an envelope. "This came to my office. Read it before the day's out." Inside was a confidential letter from Anderson and Shaw's board. My hands shook as I scanned it. "Is this real?" I whispered. "Very," she said. "James traced your software back to you. They're not just using it, they want you as Chief Technology Officer, overseeing their digital overhaul. Announcements next week." I folded the letter, mind racing. Victoria's gonna lose it. Finding out her unemployed sister's her new boss? Aunt Margaret's eyes gleamed. I wouldn't miss it. "Sarah, stop hiding and celebrate my promotion." Victoria's voice rang out. I pocketed the letter and headed back, ready for the next move. She raised her glass for a toast. To family success and helping the less fortunate find their way. The crowd cheered. I raised my glass too, catching James's subtle nod across the circle. She had no idea what was coming. Neither did I, fully, but I knew one thing. Her reign as the perfect twin was about to crash. Hard. I stood outside Anderson and Shaw's headquarters that Monday morning, watching suits bustle through the revolving doors. My phone buzzed, Victoria texting, "Don't forget our HR meeting at 11. Wear something professional if you have anything suitable." I smoothed my tailored suit and smirked. She thought I was still her charity case, scrambling for scraps. In an hour, she'd see how wrong she was. James Anderson spotted me in the lobby. "Sarah," he boomed, striding over. "Ready for the big reveal?" Victoria, hovering by the reception desk, froze mid-sip, coffee cup dangling. "Sarah, what are you doing here?" "Our HR meeting's not till 11. Change of plans," James said, all cheerful. "Sarah's needed in the board meeting." "You too, Victoria. Shall we?" Her eyes narrowed, flicking between us, but she followed. In the elevator, she kept glancing at me, suspicion radiating off her. She couldn't figure out why her unemployed twin was suddenly chummy with the CEO. The boardroom was packed, execs, directors, the whole power lineup. Victoria went for her usual VP seat, but James waved her aside. "Sarah, sit here," he said, pulling out a chair near the head of the table. Her face went red. "Mr. Anderson, that's my..." "Ladies and gentlemen," James cut in, silencing the room. "Today's a pivotal moment for Anderson and Shaw. We're modernizing our tech infrastructure, and Victoria's been vocal about the revolutionary security system we're implementing." She straightened, regaining her swagger. "Yes, I've been overseeing the entire. What many of you don't know," James went on, "is we've acquired the company behind this tech. And I'm thrilled to introduce its founder and CEO, our new Chief Technology Officer." He turned to me. Victoria's jaw dropped. I stood, every eye on me. "Thanks, James. For those who don't know, I'm Sarah Micho, founder of SecureFlow Technologies." And yes, I met Victoria's stunned stare, Victoria's twin sister. The room buzzed. I launched into my pitch, how my software would transform their systems, answering tech questions that'd make Victoria's head spin. She sat there, frozen, watching her perfect narrative fall apart. After, she cornered me by the water cooler. "How long?" she hissed. "How long have you been planning this?" "Planning what?" I said coolly. "Building a successful company?" "About 3 years since that tech thing you loved mocking. You let me make a fool of myself at the reunion, in front of everyone." "No, Victoria. You did that all on your own." "Do Mom and Dad know?" "Not yet. Press release tomorrow might tip them off." She grabbed my arm, nails digging in like when we were kids, and she'd pin the blame on me. "You have to turn it down." I stared. "Excuse me?" "This position, my position. I'm VP of Strategic Development. I can't report to my little sister." "First, you're 3 minutes older," I said, peeling her hand off. "Second, I earned this. No family connections, no dad's influence, just my work." "Work?" She laughed, bitter. "You got lucky with some computer program. I've spent years building relationships, playing the game." "And now the game's changed," James interrupted, stepping into the doorway. His face was hard. "Victoria, my office." Now, I watched them go, a mix of triumph and something heavier churning inside. She'd spent our whole lives making me feel small, useless, unworthy. Part of me wanted her to crash and burn. But another part remembered the sister who'd sneak into my bed during storms, who knew me better than anyone before jealousy tore us apart. An hour later, she stormed out of James's office, composure cracked. She marched to her desk, shoving stuff into a bag, a framed photo of her and Dad at her graduation hitting the bottom hard. "Victoria," I started. "Don't," she snapped, zipping it shut. "You've won, okay? Isn't that what you wanted? This isn't about winning." She whirled on me. "Then what? Revenge? Making me look stupid? Proving you're better?" "It's about business," I said. Building something valuable. Not everything's a competition. Easy to say now you're on top, she spat, slinging the bag over her shoulder. I quit, by the way. I won't work for my twin sister. She headed for the door, but I stopped her. The Morrison account. She paused. What about it? It's yours if you stay. You built that client relationship. It's still yours. She turned, eyes wary. And I'd report to you? On tech stuff, yeah. But clients? That's your thing. You're damn good at it when you're not trying to one-up everyone. For a second, I saw the old Victoria, the one who'd share her dessert, hold my hand on the first day of school. I'll think about it, she said, voice low. That's all I'm asking. She left, and I sank into my new desk chair, staring out at the Boston skyline. My phone lit up, congrats, shock, a vague text from Dad about discussing the situation. But Mom's hit hardest. I'm sorry for not seeing, for not believing. Can we talk? I typed back, dinner tomorrow. Bring Victoria. Time for an honest conversation. The board meeting had been my first move. Now came the real fight, fixing what years of betrayal had broken. Victoria thought she'd lost everything. She didn't know I was just getting started. I picked Julia's for dinner, an Italian joint far from the financial district where Victoria and Dad usually flex their clout. No power plays here, just good food and private booths. I got there early, sliding into a corner spot with a view of the door. My phone stayed quiet, no cancellations yet, but I wasn't holding my breath. Mom walked in first, looking nervous, not her usual polished corporate wife self. Sarah, she said, hovering by the table. You look different. Confident. I offered. She nodded, sitting down, fidgeting with her napkin. I've been reading about your company. Business journals are raving. Why didn't you tell us? Would you have listened? I asked. Or just compared it to Victoria's latest win? She flinched. We never meant to, yeah, you did. I cut in, keeping it soft but firm. Every time you held her up as the only success, it was on purpose. Your father, she started, then stopped. No, I can't pin it all on him. I did it too. Tech felt so vague until it made you a millionaire. She looked ashamed, and I let it sit. Dad and Victoria arrived together, both stiff, like they'd been bickering outside. She'd swapped her work gear for casual stuff, but kept her VP pin on, like a badge she couldn't let go. Sarah, Dad said, voice tight. He hadn't called since the press release, though his office had sniffed around my next venture. You're looking professional. Amazing what a few million does for your wardrobe. Yeah, I shot back. Turns out success fits pretty well. Victoria snorted, then masked it with a cough. For a second, I saw the sister who used to get my humor, not just Dad's corporate mask. We ordered drinks and sat in silence until the bread came. Mom kept eyeing me and Victoria, waiting for the first shot. Dad broke it. I assume you called this to talk about Anderson and Shaw. No, I said, meeting his stare. To talk about us. The company's just the fallout. I don't see a problem, he said, all business. You've succeeded. We're proud. Are you? I pressed. Or just mad you didn't see it coming. You're not proud, Dad. You're threatened. I did it without your help, your connections, your plan. Victoria shifted. Sarah, no, let's be real, I pushed on, turning to her. You're pissed because I didn't win your way, networking, politics, all that. You thought I was nothing. Okay, maybe a little, she admitted, voice small. Mom jumped in, sharp. Victoria, you tore her down for years. We all did. For what? Because she didn't fit our mold. Dad's fist hit the table. I offered her a job at the firm after college. She ran off to play with computers and built a multi-million-dollar company. Victoria finished, quiet. While I was bragging about VP, we all stared. Victoria never owned up to anything. What? She shrugged. I can't fake it anymore. After today's board meeting, she was amazing. All those tech questions, the vision. She knew her stuff. I've been pretending, she's been doing. Victoria, I started, but she waved me off. Let me finish. I've been awful at the reunion, at work, our whole lives. I didn't see how bad until I watched you in that room. You weren't just successful, you were sure. I was jealous. Not of the money or the job, but that certainty. I just knew who Dad wanted me to be. Dad choked on something, pride, maybe. Mom grabbed his hand. He pulled back. I gave you everything, he said to Victoria. Connections, opportunities, pressure, she cut in. To be perfect, to be you. Sarah was free to fail, to try. I had to be flawless. Free? I laughed. You think being the family screw-up was freedom? Wasn't it? She shot back. No fear of ruining the Micho name. I had to be the golden child every damn day. Girls, Mom broke in, voice shaky. We've hurt each other a lot. For years. And now, what do you want, Sarah? Dad demanded. An apology? Public groveling. I want my family back, I said flat. Not the reunion show, not these roles. I want us real. Victoria reached over, grabbed my hand, tentative, not controlling. I'd like that. And I'd like to stay at Anderson and Shaw, if the offer is still good. It is, I said, squeezing back. You're the best at relationships when you're not being a jerk. Working on that, she smirked. Dad cleared his throat. And my offer to invest in your next thing? Depends, I said. You in as a control freak businessman or a dad backing me? He stared at his glass, quiet. I don't know, he admitted. I'm not sure I know how to be just a father. Then we start there, Mom said. Food came, and talk shifted, lighter stuff, old pranks, Mom's secret sci-fi obsession. It wasn't perfect. Victoria and I still jabbed sometimes. Dad nearly lectured twice. But it was honest. I'd made my move, called them out, laid it bare. Now we'd see if they'd step up or fold. 6 months later, we were back in the parents' backyard for the family reunion. Same oak tree, same crowd, but the vibe was different. Victoria was by the grill, flipping burgers with more gusto than skill, half explaining a client proposal to me. She'd settled into her role at Anderson and Shaw, still the relationship queen, but now she actually cared about the tech she pitched. So, if we roll out the new security for their Asia branch, she flipped a burger. It nearly slid off. Maybe I should take over, I said, reaching for the spatula. No way, she grinned. The tech genius isn't better at everything. I've been practicing. Is that what you call the 3 charred ones in the trash? I teased. She bumped my shoulder, playful, not mean like last year. We laughed, and it carried across the yard. Mom looked up, smiling, still shocked whenever we got along. These past months weren't smooth. Victoria's old competitive edge flared up sometimes. Dad still slipped into boss mode. But we were trying. She's gonna burn those, Aunt Margaret said, joining us with a smirk. Just like your mom used to. I heard that. Mom called. I've taken cooking classes. Online doesn't count, Margaret shot back, especially at double speed. Dad wandered over, wine bottle in hand, more relaxed than I'd ever seen him. He'd retired 3 months ago, Victoria, and I got him a retired pin for his golf hat. Anyone smell burning? He asked, all innocent. Victoria flipped the burgers, black underneath. It's caramelization, she insisted. That's what they call cremation now? I grabbed the spatula. Let me help. Fine, she sighed, dramatic. But only 'cause I need to finish the Asia pitch. Speaking of pitches, Mom cut in. Isn't James Anderson's son joining us? Victoria blushed. Marcus is stopping by. It's professional, he's helping me with tech stuff. Professional, huh? I said low. That why you're taking coding classes? You know about that? She asked, caught. I'm CTO, Vic. I see everyone's portal activity. No enemy, right? She muttered. No sister/boss/tech overlord, I corrected. Dad pulled an envelope from his pocket. Been waiting to share this. Inside was a photo, him and Mom, young and scrappy, outside their first office. We started with nothing, he said. No connections, just grit. Somewhere, I forgot that. Got lost in image control. He looked at us. Sarah, your company, your way, reminded me who I was. Victoria, you carving your own path, not just mine, I'm proud. Not titles, not money. You're becoming you. Mom wiped a tear. We're sorry for the competition, the pressure. We pushed you apart. Margaret raised her glass. Took 30 years to figure it out. Better late than never. We laughed, tension cracking. Victoria handed me the last decent burgers for the platter. I always thought I had to beat you to matter, she said. Turns out we're both pretty great different ways. Speak for yourself, I jabbed. I'm clearly the grill master. She splashed me with wine, kid sister style. Keep it up, I'll tell Marcus about your Pokemon stash. You mean the card's worth 6 figures now? Go ahead. A car pulled up, Marcus, with wine and what looked like coding books. Victoria smoothed her hair, darting off. Not professional, huh? I whispered. Shut up, she tossed back, sticking out her tongue, her polish slipping. Dad started grilling Marcus, literally and figuratively, until Mom elbowed him. We're not controlling, she hissed. I'm not, he protested. Just asking his intentions professionally. Margaret rolled her eyes. Let her write her own story, Richard. Things were shifting, but old habits lingered. Dad's photo, Victoria's coding, Mom's apology. It was progress, not perfection. Then my phone buzzed, a work email. Anderson and Shaw's Asia deal was hitting a snag, tech glitches Victoria's pitch didn't account for. I'd have to step in, fix it, maybe bruise her ego again. She caught me frowning. What? Work stuff, I said. Asia branch? Yeah. Might need my help. She tensed, old rivalry flickering. I can handle it. I know, I said. But I'm still CTO. She nodded, slow. Fine. But I'm in the room. Deal. The tension was back, subtle but real. We'd come far, but the past wasn't gone. It was a tightrope we were still walking. Marcus waved, oblivious. Dad hovered. Mom watched. I plated the burgers, wondering how long this truce would hold. The reunion was winding down, but the air still crackled with that tightrope tension. Victoria and I stood by the grill, burger saved, her Asia pitch hanging between us like a live wire. Marcus chatted with Mom and Dad across the yard, his coding books tucked under his arm, oblivious to the storm brewing. Aunt Margaret sipped her wine, watching us with that knowing smirk. You two gonna fight over this Asia thing or figure it out? She asked, casual but pointed. We'll figure it out, I said, glancing at Victoria. She nodded, but her jaw was tight. I said I'm in the room, Sarah. It's my deal. And I said deal, I shot back. But it's my tuck. We're a team or it flops. She exhaled, sharp. Fine. Team. It wasn't peace, but it was close enough for now. My phone buzzed again, another email from work. The Asia branch glitch was worse than I'd thought. Their system crashed during a demo, and the client was pissed. Victoria's pitch had oversold what the current setup could handle. I'd have to fix it fast, and she'd have to eat some crow. Bad news? She asked, catching my frown. Your demo tanked, I said flat. Systems down. Clients freaking out. Her face went pale. What? I checked everything, you checked what you knew. Text my lane, Vic. We've got a mess. She bristled. Don't pull rank. I'm not. I'm stating facts. We fix it together, or you lose the account. She glared, then softened, just a hair. Okay, together. But I'm not some assistant here. Never said you were. Dad wandered over, picking up the vibe. Trouble in paradise? Work, I said. Nothing we can't handle. He raised an eyebrow. Sure about that? You two don't have the best track record. We're learning. Victoria snapped, then caught herself. Sorry. Old habits. He nodded, slow. I get it. I pushed you into that, pitting you against each other. Thought it'd make you stronger. It made us enemies, I said. But we're past that. Mostly. He looked between us, like he wasn't sure he believed it. Mom joined, sensing the shift. What's going on? Work glitch, Victoria said. Sarah's bailing me out. Again. Not bailing, I corrected. Fixing. You landed the client. I'll make sure it sticks. Mom smiled, tentative. You're really working together? Trying, I said. It's messy, but it's real. Margaret chimed in, about time. You've got more in common than you think. Like what? Victoria asked, skeptical. Grit, she said. Your grandmother saw it. She'd have loved this. Both of you proving yourselves your way. That hit me. Grandma's patents, Margaret's secret leverage, had fueled Dad's early success. She'd been the quiet force like me. Victoria was the flash like him. Maybe we were more alike than I'd thought. Speaking of proving, I said, we've got a fire to put out. Tomorrow, Vic. Early. I'll be there, she said, firm. Good, I replied. Bring coffee. It's gonna be a long one. Marcus waved from the driveway, heading out. See you at the office, Victoria? Yeah, she called, then muttered to me, he's been helping me debug code. Don't say it. Wasn't gonna, I lied, smirking. She rolled her eyes, but there was a spark, old sister stuff, not rivalry. Dad pulled me aside as the crowd thinned. You're serious about this teamwork thing? Yeah, I said. She's good at what she does. I'm good at what I do. We don't have to step on each other anymore. And if she screws up again, then I fix it. Like she'd fix my screw-ups. That's family, right? He stared, like he was seeing me for the first time. I didn't teach you that. No, I said. I learned it anyway. He nodded, quiet. I'm trying to learn too. Be a father, not a boss. Keep at it, I said. You're getting there. Mom hugged me before they left. I'm proud of you, both of you. I didn't say it enough. You're saying it now, I replied. That's what counts. Victoria lingered, kicking at the grass. Tomorrow's gonna suck, huh? Probably, I said. But we've got this. Yeah, she agreed, then hesitated. Thanks for not rubbing it in. The demo, the CTO thing. You could've. What's the point? I shrugged. You're my sister, not my punching bag. She smiled, small, real. Night, boss. Night, pain in my ass, I shot back. She laughed, heading to her car. I stayed by the oak tree, replaying it all. The Asia mess was a test, our first big one since the truce. If we pulled it off, it'd prove we could do this. Work, family, all of it. If we didn't, old wounds might rip open. My phone buzzed, James Anderson. Heard about Asia. You on it? Yeah, I texted. Victoria too. Good. Don't let me down. I wouldn't. Neither would she. The revelation wasn't just the glitch, it was us, figuring out who we could be together. Tomorrow would show if it stuck. The next morning, Victoria and I were in my office at Anderson and Shaw by 6 a.m., coffee in hand, screens glowing. The Asia branch mess was uglier than I'd thought. Their system crashed mid-demo because the client pushed it past what Victoria's pitch promised. She'd oversold. I hadn't caught it in time. This is on me, she said, staring at the error logs. I told them it could handle triple the load. And me, I admitted. I should have double-checked the specs before you pitched. She glanced up, surprised. No gloating. We're past that, I said. Let's fix it. We dug in, me tweaking code, her on the phone with the client, smoothing ruffled feathers. Yes, Mr. Tanaka. We're resolving it now, she said, voice steady. You'll have a full demo by noon. She hung up, grimacing. He's pissed. Thinks I lied. You didn't, I said, typing fast. You just got ahead of the tech. It'll hold now, trust me. I do, she said, quiet. That hit harder than the crash. By 11, we had it stable. I ran a test, perfect. Victoria prepped the client call, her charm back in gear. Mr. Tanaka, we've upgraded the system. Ready for your demo? He grunted approval. Noon hit. The demo ran smooth as silk. Impressive recovery, he said after. We're in. Victoria hung up, exhaling. We did it. Yeah, I grinned. Team effort. She smirked. Don't get used to me saying this, but you're a genius. And you're a hell of a closer, I shot back. Even with burnt burgers. James called us an after. Heard you pulled it off. Good work, both of you. Victoria nodded. Sarah saved my ass. She saved yours, I said. He raised an eyebrow. This a permanent thing, you two playing nice? Working on it, I said. It's a start, she added. He smiled, rare for him. Keep it up. Asia's just the beginning. Word spread fast. By afternoon, the office buzzed. Sarah and Victoria, the twins who'd turned a disaster into a win. Dad texted, heard about Asia. Proud. Mom followed, you're unstoppable together. Even Aunt Margaret chimed in, told you, grit. Victoria caught me in the hall later. This feels good. Not fighting you. Yeah, I said. Took us long enough. Too long, she agreed. But I'm done with the old crap. You. Same, I said. Sisters, not rivals. She hugged me, quick, real. Deal. That night, I called a family dinner at Julia's again. No crisis this time, just us. Dad showed up relaxed, no corporate edge. Heard you two saved the day, he said. Reminded me of your mom and me, starting out. Minus the burnt burgers, Mom teased. Victoria laughed. I'm improving. Barely, I jabbed. She flicked a breadcrumb at me. Kid stuff, not malice. Mom smiled. This is what I wanted us, like this. Me too, Dad said, voice low. I messed up, pushing you apart. I see that now. We all did, Victoria said. But we're here. I raised my glass. To new starts, and no more competitions. To family, Victoria added. We clinked glasses, the sound sharp and final. Later, she pulled me aside. I'm staying at Anderson and Shaw. For real. You're a good boss. You're a good VP, I said. When you're not overselling my tech. Working on that too, she grinned. We laughed, and it felt like justice, not me over her, but us even. Back home, I sat by my window, replaying it all. The betrayal that kicked this off, Victoria's smug reign, my quiet grind, had flipped into something better. I'd won, not by crushing her, but by pulling her up with me. She'd lost the old game and found a new one. Triumph wasn't the CTO gig or the millions, it was this. Family, real and raw, no masks. Monday's win was just the start. We'd keep building together. Blogger's final words, and that's the story, betrayal, struggle, and a hard-earned win that's more about heart than headlines. Sarah and Victoria turned rivalry into redemption, proving family can be messy, fierce, and worth it. Want more tales like this? Subscribe below so you don't miss the next one. I've got plenty more where this came from.